as far as personal statement goes, I I was really nervous about my personal statement. I read a lot of examples, and it seemed to be like the best ones were, oh, I came from this really tough situation, but my passion for law or my passion for justice helped me get through it. And I have had, thankfully, like a really nice life. I mean, I've gone through like tough things like anybody else, but nothing incredibly life changing or life threatening or anything like that. I've gone straight from high school to college and now to law school. So writing that statement, I was like, there is nothing special about me as far as the statement goes. And so what I ended up talking about was how my faith impacted my interpretation of what justice looks like. And even though I don't believe that an ideal justice system is something that's attainable right now with how broken the world is, that doesn't mean that it isn't worth striving for or seeking after. And I actually got a couple comments from people in different admissions offices, regardless of their response to my actual application, saying, I really appreciated your personal statement. It was really genuine. Thank you for writing about something that mattered to you. And writing that statement, I was very aware that people weren't going to agree with everything I was saying. I'm very aware, not every single person in law school is Christian, and not every person at admissions office is religious or believes in God, and that's fine, live your life. But for me, that's something that's a huge part of my identity, and I didn't want to put my application out there in a dishonest way that was going to leave out such an important aspect of my life. So it was pretty cool to see that validated by people in an admissions office who recognized, hey, you put yourself out there, we see that's important to you, and that's what we're looking for in somebody who comes to our law school, is someone who's authentic and genuine and honest about what they believe and why they believe it.
Well, that's really interesting. And it kind of jives with what I hear from admission officers, that they aren't going to let their personal biases get in the way. I mean, of course, we all know that like academia isn't the most like religious or devout space, right? But admission officers actually appreciate the honesty and authenticity, as well as a wide variety of like backgrounds, including like intellectual or faith related diversity as well. That's something unique you can bring to the table. And so even if it might not match the typical profile of the average applicant, that could be a good thing sometimes for them.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
it sounds like it was also a particularly inspirational essay. And so that also is uplifting as well. You don't want it to be just a sob story of all the hardships you've encountered,
Sure.
right?
Absolutely. Another thing too is not just like something I've told some people who've asked me for advice about this, is don't just write and pour your heart out and send it to a law school. Like, there are a lot of eyes that are willing to look at that, to give you constructive feedback. I actually sent my personal statement to 45 people, 20 of which got back to me and said either this is great, thanks for sending it, or they said, you need to change the sentence, this sounds really weird, don't say that. And so by the time I actually sent my personal statement to law schools, it was very much the same in heart, but drastically different in the way that I formed sentences, the way that I structured the statement. And I think that that really made a difference. So believing in the people that have got you where you are now, I think is going to continue to propel you in the law school application process.
Definitely making use of your community, and 45 people. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's way more than most applicants share it with, I think. Some people don't share it with anybody.
Yeah, that's not a good idea. I literally sent it to like high school teachers that I hadn't talked to in 4 years. I was like, hey, remember me? You liked me 4 years ago. Please read this.
No, sure. And people are happy to help. And worst that happens is they don't get back to you, or they don't have
Right.
time, and that's fine. But I was talking with one student, she's a Columbia Law student, and she was saying that she reached out to alums on LinkedIn.
Oh, interesting.
And just asked them, she'd never met these people before. He just kind of reached out, made a connection, and then was like, can you read over my essay? And that sort of thing. It works. So even if you don't know 45 people personally, you could still find folks, or maybe people online. But yeah, I'm really glad you did that, because I'm sure it strengthened your essay. If 45 people, each person gives you one tip or one edit, that's a big change right there.
Yeah, in a 2-page paper to have 45 different edits is quite a lot. But it really, I think, made it for the better. And that combined with thankfully a good LSAT score and a good GPA and letters of recommendation for people who knew my work ethic and had me in class or had me work for them. All of that combined led to what I think was a pretty solid application, which I would say got me about 75% of the way there in getting scholarship decisions and acceptance decisions from law schools I applied to.
Thanks for tuning into the show. Please subscribe if you haven't done so already to be notified of new episodes as I release them. And feel free to reach out if you need anything at all as you move forward with your prep. I'm happy to help however I can. In the meantime, I wish you all the best and take care.